Hey guys, it's Julie with Yoginiology.com. Today we're going to do a really quick, fun hip flow session that'll just feel really good on your hips. So let's get started. We're going to lie down on our backs to begin. Just start by simply hugging the knees into the chest. You can grab opposite elbows, forearms, wrists, whatever is comfortable. And I'm doing more than just hugging the knees in. I'm also pushing the knees into my arms. So there's some counter action going on here too. And that's really how you can make a lot of progress in the hips. And while we practice today, if there's anything that feels really nice, go ahead and pause the video, and then you can stay there longer, and then just come back in when you're ready to. So you can make it a little longer than 10 minutes if you'd like, a lot longer than 10 minutes if you'd like. Go ahead and set your right foot down. We're going to take the left ankle to the right thigh. I want you to flex your foot, start to push the knee away slightly, and it's really important you keep that left foot flexed. It's going to make the knee joint okay over here. For some of us, you might keep the right foot on the ground and just walk the foot in. For others, you can interlace the fingers over the shin or at the back of the hamstring. Trying to get a nice big stretch for this outer left thigh and hip area. Sometimes you can even feel it all the way up into the low back, which is really nice. Continuing to flex my left foot. And as I'm pulling the right knee in, I'm gently pushing the left knee away to get that deeper stretch into the hip joint. You're going to set the right foot down, keep the left foot flexed, start to drop the legs over to the right. I'm going to take my right hand, make a fist, and then wedge that underneath my left thigh. That way this thigh can relax into the fist and there's no effort, and you can really start to stretch into the hip a little more. You can take your left arm out to the side, turn and look over your left shoulder, just a nice easy twist here. So anytime we get into the hips, breath is really important. We tend to hold a lot of emotion, a lot of stress, and the hips tend to be really tight for most of us because of how we have to spend our days sitting a lot. So just make sure you have a nice supportive breath as you work here with your hips. Go ahead and bring the knees back up. Uncross the legs, hug the knees into the chest again, switch sides. So left foot's going to come down, right ankle to left thigh. Flex your foot, push the knee away slightly. That could be enough. Or interlace your hands on top of the shin or back of the hamstring. Nice big breaths. And just remember that both sides are different. So it's normal to feel your one hip be a lot tighter than the other. So just because you put your hands on the shin on this side doesn't mean on the other side they have to go to the same place. But once you're done here, you'll set the left foot down. Keep the foot flexed as you drop that whole leg structure to the left. Left hand becomes a kickstand. I'm letting my right thigh melt into the left hand as much as I can. I'm turning, looking over my right shoulder. Try to fight the need to work here. Do your best to relax everything possible. And you do that by finding your breath, letting the breath support you. Go ahead and bring yourself back up, hug the knees into the chest. We're going to rock ourselves up to sit. So for most of us, if your knees are okay with it, we're going to come into a simple cross-legged position. So you can come in and just cross the ankles, let the knees drop. You could cross the shins a little more. That's going to make it a little more intense. If this isn't good for you, sit however is comfortable. You're going to keep the hips down and you're going to start to walk the arms forward. I'm going to let the chin come into the chest, try to melt the heart down so the back of my heart is melting towards the front of my heart. My front of the heart is melting down towards the mat. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the neck. If you're in a cross-legged position, halfway through, we'll change the crossing of the legs. If you picked something where the legs are symmetrical, then you could stay there and just ignore the cue to switch. Sometimes a little bit of movement can be really helpful, just to help your body relax. If your legs are crossed, go ahead and switch the crossing now. Bring the other shin in front. I like to keep my feet flexed here. It just really, really helps me make sure my knees feel comfortable. Getting a little more into the outer hip here before we come into some standing poses. Just explore what can you do here to find a little bit different sensation in the outer hips. And then when you're ready, you're going to plant the hands, set yourself up for downward facing dog. Some of you might be ready if it's towards the end of the day or you've already done some physical activity for a full downward facing dog. If you haven't done anything yet, you might want to start bent knees and then really slowly start to pedal the legs out. So you might spend a little more time here in this position. When you're ready, you'll step the right foot forward between the hands. I'm going to leave my back left knee up. Of course, you're welcome to drop it down if that's more comfortable for you. If your back knee is up, you're going to keep the right shin right over the ankle. If it's down, you can lean forward a little more. So what I'm doing here, I'm letting my left hip flexor drop down towards the mat, but then I'm lifting the back of the left knee up towards the sky and then pushing back through my left heel. And then I'm lengthening out from my torso, lifting my chest up. Taking a nice big breath. I'll plant the hands, swing the right leg back, just kind of into a really lazy three-leg downward facing dog. I'm going to bend the knee, let the foot fall over to the left, look under my right arm. This is a really nice hip opener just right here. For some of us, it'll feel extra nice just to take really big circles with the knee. Start to open up the hip a little more. And you'll know you need this if it feels like the opposite of fluid. Take a breath in down dog. Switch sides, left foot comes forward. Knee over the ankle. Sink the hips down. Lengthen from the waist, heart's moving forward. Push back through your right heel. And anytime I'm working with the hips, I like to stay up on my fingers. Flat hand makes my spine not be very fluid. There isn't much motion that can happen here. So I like to stay up on my fingertips. Gets me a little more motion in the hips. Then when I'm ready for down dog, plant the hands, swing the left leg back. Just nice and easy. Bend the knee, let it fall over to your right, look under your left arm. You might just hang here. You could take the hip in circles a few times each direction just to get some very different motion in the hip joint. Unless you're like a salsa dancer, it's rare you get this motion throughout the day. Set the left foot down, take a full breath in down dog. Right foot comes forward again, set the left knee down, this time for low lunge. So I'm pushing my hips forward, back knees down. As I push the hips forward, right heel's pulling back, my left knee's pushing forward. So you're getting some of that opposition. I'm squeezing my outer thighs in, outer hips in, and then really letting my weight go forward. I'm gonna take a nice big breath here. You can sweep the arms up. So you exhale, bring the arms down. I'm gonna lift my back knee. You're welcome to leave it down. Scoot the right foot all the way to the edge of the mat. Hands are gonna come under the shoulders. They could come onto blocks. If you need more room in your hips, if you're more flexible, forearms might be a good spot for you. Keep the back of your neck nice and long, jaw relaxed. Hang here for as long as you feel like you need to or should. When you're ready, bring yourself back up. Downward facing dog. Other side, left foot steps between the hands, right knee's down for low lunge. Hips push forward, left heel pulls back, right knee pushes forward. You might have heard this called scissoring the thighs. Just a bit of that action going on. Squeeze in, feel really supported. Hips push forward, arms come up as you inhale. When you're ready, exhale, the hands come down. You could leave the knee down. You could lift it up. Scoot the left foot to the edge of the mat. Really let the hips sink down now. Forearms is a possibility, or forearms on a block. Nice big breaths. When you're done, step back to downward facing dog. We're just gonna end really quickly here. in a wide child's pose. Take the knees to the edge of the mat, bring your big toes together, bring the hips back to the heels, forehead to the ground, let your elbows bend slightly. And of course, stay here for as long as feels good. Could do hip openers all day. I'll do another one. If there's anything else you'd like to see on yoginiology.com, leave me a comment below. And thank you for stopping by today. Have a great day.